Amanda from StraightSmile Solutions, and I'm really thankful today for my friend Mr. Ian Withers. He gave me a lot of content to help build upon, to help to educate the consumers and the dentists out there a little bit more about different orthodontic appliances that can be used not only by orthodontists but also by general and pediatric dentists. So I'm going to go ahead and start teaching y'all. So okay, let's talk today. So today's lecture is going to be a mini lecture about expansion devices. And we're going to go ahead and walk through a few of them. There are a zillion different combinations, and keep in mind that I may be calling them slightly different words than you call them. So it's all right. They all functionally do the same thing. So don't forget that we've launched our orthodontics education in a bag. That means that it's so much cheaper than going to a class. You just go to our website, StraightSmileSolutions.com, click on the seminars or webinars section, and you can go ahead and subscribe. This is a customizable bag for yourself and or your team members with whatever modules you want to learn about orthodontics. It's going to be hands-on. It's going to get shipped to you in any country. You only pay for what you need and what you get, and you'll be able to check in as you learn different skills and exercises to make sure you've done things correctly. And you can go ahead and see more by visiting StraightSmileSolutions.com. The photos today that you're going to learn are a courtesy of Mr. Ian Withers and the BiteSoft Laboratory. To order, you can visit ian.withers@me.com, and he has distributors all over Asia and the US, so he will get his appliances to you. All right. Let's get started. So you've probably heard me talk about rapid palatal expanders before. I'm a huge fan of them. They're great. This is a banded one, so that means that they can fit the bands for you. But it's always better, I think, if you drop some spacers in first. It just helps them be able to fit the bands better. And then do your scan or impression like about a week in advance. You can also fit your own bands and do a pickup impression, but that's a little bit tricky sometimes because they can lift when you pour them up, so I wouldn't recommend that. Let the lab go ahead and fit your bands. Just remember, if you're doing these kind of expanders, I recommend knowing the skeletal age of your patient before you do it. If you don't know how to do that, we've got tons of videos on that, or you can go ahead and connect with me. It's really important that you're not doing these on skeletally mature patients, or if you are, you need to know what you're doing because there's huge risks. So I don't recommend that unless you have experience doing that. So side effects are significantly bigger. All right, so back to the hyrax RPE, usually used on growing kids or young teens to expand skeletal crossbites, develop arches, etc. In short, the amount of turns is really going to depend on the skeletal age of the patient, what you're trying to accomplish, so I can't give you a one-size-fits-all approach. But this is generally done faster than some of the other appliances, the banded ones. So you're going to see a pretty rapid result, but at the end it needs to be retained or stabilized. So ultimately it all takes about the same amount of time. This is a quadhelix. So a quadhelix is a slower expansion device. You cannot leave this in here for a really long time because all sorts of crazy things will happen to the arch, to the teeth, to the buccal plate. I've seen it. You don't want to do it. So from my experience, I usually leave these in about 3-4 months max, just to develop the arch. I use these in adults to develop the arch for really slow expansion. You do have to activate these. Sometimes they come pre-active, so you need to know the difference. You can't just plop it in if you don't know what you're doing. I will do some videos on activating it later. It's a little bit tricky, but once I have one in my hand, I will do that for you. All right, so the next one that we're going to do here is what I call a bonded hyrax. It's basically a banded one that we saw up here, okay? But there's acrylic over it. So it's great for open bite patients. That's what I would use this for, or open bite non-compliant patients will be really great. If you want to make it extra funky, you can put a thumb crib or a tongue crib on the front. Kind of mean, but it's really, really effective with open bite patients. So that's one of my favorites. Downsides, kind of hard to eat. Also, there's a risk for decay, so please don't put this in your non-compliant patients that you aren't following up with, but it's a great appliance. Works the same as this one up here, same stipulations and regulations. Next one, I call this a unilateral Schwartz. Maybe I should go to the regular Schwartz first. This is your standard Schwartz, okay? So this is basically a slower version of the RP that we had up here. Slower, less turns. Great because it's removable, customizable, fun colors. You can do it a little bit in a little bit older patient, or you can do it in a really little patient. You don't have to worry about having permanent teeth in, banding to permanent teeth. very compliant. So I think that's a great appliance. I use them all the time. It can also be customizable. You can add acrylic to the posterior teeth. I don't have that feature right now to help with open bites or vertical issues. You can add a thicker bite plate on the anterior to help with deep bite issues. Fantastic appliance, by far my favorite. This is like kind of a funky version of it. As you can see, this probably is for a patient that has some type of unilateral crossbite issues, maybe has some type of, needs some intrusion on one side. So this is, I call this maybe a Schwartz for asymmetry. So this is just, I thought it was just so cool. I had to throw it back up there since Ian did send it to me. So don't forget, if you want to order from Ian, thanks so much for sending me these appliances. You can visit ian.withers@me.com, or you can email me, myself, at info@straightsmilesolutions.com. Go to my website, straightsmilesolutions.com. And if you want to learn more, don't forget to visit our website and order your orthodontics education in a bag. By far the cheapest way to get educated in the world on orthodontics, hands-on at least, and check in, with some of our team members. We have a whole bunch of expanding team members who are going to be available to help you in many different countries. All right, thanks so much. Have a great day.